Okay, who wants to start us off, please? Yep.
Hi, Frank. All right.
Yeah,
Hi, Frank.
Sorry.
Did you feel you knew how to play Chelsea today? You seemed happy to give them a fair amount of possession. You seemed to wind up a few of their players who maybe you knew how to wind up. I don't know. Did you just feel like
Wind up?
Well, a few of them seemed to get a little bit upset.
Nah, I've been here with Chelsea. I've coached here, lost the game. It's normal that players get frustrated. No, I didn't know how to play Chelsea. If you're intimating the fact that I worked there, of course I have a big awareness of the individuals, but it's been a long time. Thomas Tuchel's a great manager. He's created a system and a style of play which is really impressive. So it was just a case of understanding that, delivering that to the players, and then making sure the players did it with discipline. Because against top level teams, one moment or moments where you switch off, they can punish you. And the fact today is that we didn't switch off much, and when we did, we had an incredible goalkeeper to make the saves needed, and we had more chances to score goals. So it was a tough match. But yeah, we just prepared as normal for the game, and the lads produced a great performance.
Dominic?
Last 4 home games, the emotion between in the stadium, so it's almost like, you know, really carrying over the line. Do you think you can have those performances in any other stadium, or can you just talk about like the reception you were given coming into the stadium today and everything?
No, it's special. It's not the norm. It's not the norm. Coming in, driving up today, and receiving the fans as we went through the bus, and the understanding or the feeling for the players to understand what it means to the fans was special. If it doesn't give you goosebumps, if it doesn't get you ready to go out and give everything, then there's something wrong with the leadership that's playing the game. And they were the 12th man. They were the people of the match, the men, the women, the children that came and did that before, also in the warm-up, also at the start of the game, and also to get us out of the line late in the game. And yeah, it's a positive and a negative for us. It's a huge thing. When the club comes together at Goodison, that's amazing, and that's why our results have been good here. The negative is when we go away from home, our players can't replicate what we do here, and that's the next challenge, because we've got 2 away games. But hanging on today, they were a massive reason why got us over the line.
People will sometimes look at atmospheres and think it's overplayed, what fans can do, but it genuinely is making a difference. It's like we're not letting you stop, we're not letting the players stop.
Yeah, and I think that's the reality of it, because when you feel pushed on by fans supporting you, it sounds so simple, but the ferocity of it today, the good aggression of it today in terms of support of people's work ethic. My only worry was before the game that it would mean people would run for the sake of it, and against Chelsea you can't, because you run after them all day and they'll play around you, and Thiago Silva waits you and they'll play through you, and we didn't do that. It's the beauty of the game for us today. The discipline was great, the work ethic was great, and it stemmed from the great support, and then the players delivered.
Chris?
We've done Richarlison before, and I know Jordan made a big save on Richarlison goal, and he's pushing every time and chasing people down.
Yeah, I thought it was first class, and it needed to be, and I prodded Richie pre-game, because I think he does that. He always gives that sort of effort, but it has to be directed in the right way in terms of how much energy and output he can put on to put people under pressure, and when he gets his chances he has to be clinical. For the level of striker he can be, he has to be clinical, when he was today, and he won us the game through that. But not just him, Damari Gray, Anthony Gordon, in terms of those front 3 positions, have a lot of legwork to do today, the way Chelsea played, and that they all performed at a massively high level on that.
Do you have any explanation for the dichotomy of the fact that you've got 13 points since being manager, they've all come here? Is that
No, it hasn't. And every game is different, but the reality is we didn't go to Tottenham and try and press high and run all over the pitch, and they opened us up. We tried to have a plan, and the plan wasn't implemented in the right way. And that's just one example of the game. But there have been games where we've probably been in the game and quite comfortable for 20 or 30 minutes, goal, and we haven't carried on. And that's the next question for us as a team, because the critical thing is we will probably have to get points in these next games away from home to get to where we want to be. So it's a thing we'll be looking at this week.
Sorry, Paul Joyce next.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, how important is it that it's still in your own hands?
I don't know what is in your hands or not at the bottom, around the bottom of the table, because if it was probably, Liverpool Man City battle, we're probably all thinking they'll win every game, and maybe that in your hands is great at that point. But with us, are we expecting Burnley to win every game? At the minute, maybe yeah, but are we expecting Leeds to win every game? So I think it's hard to say about what's in our hands or not. The only thing I can say is that we can control certain things, and that's when we play. And that's the difficult thing about yesterday. We can't control Burnley, we can't control Leeds, we can't control ourselves. So over 5 games, we'll have to control ourselves well enough to get enough points. We don't know what that is.
Yeah, well, you're in charge of your own destiny, basically.
Yeah, but I think that will be the case if it wasn't in our own hands, if you know what I mean. I'm not sure everyone's going to collect maximum points out of it, so we can worry about ourselves trying to get as maximum as we can.
From what Jordan says, how crucial are they, how important are they, just not in terms of the game itself, but the context of your season as well?
Yeah, they're huge, and he's made saves like that for us before, but in a game of this critical nature and how close it is, fast, technically brilliant saves, brave saves, and amazing. England's number one can sometimes be a really difficult position because people are waiting for the mistake or waiting to question you or call you out. And a performance like that just shows why he is. And, as much as we could have scored a couple more goals, I think we should have, 1 or 2, they obviously could have scored. And that's when you rely on your keeper, and it was a brilliant performance from him.
Is he okay? It's a fair whack.
Yeah. You might liven him up a bit.
I was asking just briefly about after Richie's goal, I think he threw a flare. Did you see whether that went into the stand or to the side of the stand?
I didn't see that. I didn't see it at all. Yeah.
Dave?
I had the feeling that maybe this was a pivotal game for Everton fans. You were all together. And I just wonder whether you got that impression. Is that what you want to get through to your team? Can be a.
I don't think we've shown enough consistency to claim as pivotal, because we've had moments since I've been here. Leeds an early moment, Manchester United a moment, Newcastle a moment, and we didn't carry on with that, and now it's critical that we carry on with it. So I think it'd be a bit naive to think that it's a pivotal moment. What is clear is that if we carry on with the same spirit and discipline and quality levels and desires, then we can make it a pivotal moment, but it's not until we make it.
Joe?
What can you do to build on this going into us next week to make sure that momentum does continue? That unlike what you've done, unlike recently, you can put a win together with another win?
I think we just have to focus on the opponent. I think with Liverpool last week, we stopped the spaces they wanted. We performed really well until they get the goal, and then it's difficult at Liverpool. Chelsea today, possession team, want to play through the lines, want to find Mason Mount. We dealt with that fantastically well and adjusted even more at half time and dealt with it even better. They can cross against us and we're not so worried because of how we are in the box. Leicester will be a completely different animal. The important thing is the players understand every game will have its bit of differences, but it's the application of the job that will get us over the line or not. Not necessarily just against Leicester, but every game from now on. But the basics are the same. Got to run more, got to show desire more, got to tackle as hard or harder than the opposition and do everything because the situation just demands it.
Greg?
You said, I think to Sky that we probably done beforehand. What did you sort of mean specifically?
Well, I think it was an important moment to show, to talk about the reality of the situation, because there's different ways you can go with it. You can keep telling the players to believe, and don't worry, but okay, next week we can do this, or come on, and there's other times we go, no, hang on, the demands of this. To be good lads and show good effort is not enough for us to stay in this league, because now it's clear what it the table looked like before this game. So my feeling was that we needed the extra bit of discipline, the extra bit of tension, and to be fair to the players, I think they delivered that.
Sorry.
Just wondered back, if the coach welcome worked really well for you today, should that become a feature of your remaining home games? Would that help?
I'll leave it to the fans. Yeah, I don't want to demand it. It definitely helped today, but I'll leave it to the fans. I think I know what will happen in the next home game.
Dom?
Thanks. Just one final one. When Ben turned it around yesterday, were you together, or were you together last night? And did you sort of tell the lads to forget about it, or did you talk about it? Because it would have been an easy situation for people to start panicking.
Yeah, we weren't together. I was with a couple of the staff watching it. it's not easy, that one. It's much harder watching the opposition and watching the other teams and dealing with your own games in a way, because you can't control anything. But I mentioned it briefly to the players this morning because I wanted to make sure that there wasn't a fear or a lack of hope, or because of the points difference and the way that game turned at the end. My feeling is there's a long way to go in this, and you know, we can control our games. We can't control Burnley or Leeds, and as much as we sit and stare at our phones and analyse their remaining games, it won't make a difference unless we do our thing. And that's the part of my chat from this morning.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Right, thank you very much. Okay. Good, thanks.